Welcome to Yoga Bliss with Shelly. This is your vision board and intention setting workshop. So welcome. Hopefully Jenny and Sarah, you're there. So we're here. We're going to all just begin by laying flat on the mat. And just let yourself know that you have arrived. Just feeling yourself connected where you are. Perhaps if there's a little sun kissing on your face. Just letting yourself just show up and know that you're here. And we'll all just begin by just bringing the awareness to your heart. And if you will, you can start deepening your breath. And just really elongating that inhale. And allowing a sigh of relief. And know that you don't need to be afraid of your breath. You don't need to, there's no judgment here. This is a safe space. So just allowing that breath to rise up organically. And allowing it to sink. And just continue tapping into that breath as you just deepen. Just allowing breath to kind of anchor you down here into this moment as you're breathing it in and letting it go. Just allowing whatever is coming up for you in your body, in the physical body, in the emotional body, or just whatever is coming up, just let it come up. The really important thing is just allowing of the emotions and knowing that there's nothing wrong with how you're feeling or what you're experiencing. That it's okay to be exactly where you are. And perhaps if you can, with those eyes closed, just tune into that physical beat of the heart. Perhaps you can feel it as a sensation or hear it as a sound. And really just tuning into that space that encumbers the heart center. And whatever that means to you, if it's a physical heart, if it's a spiritual heart, and perhaps just kind of taking a little journey within that space, it's almost like a spiral, if you can imagine, or perhaps like a little diffuser that you're turning on and just allowing it to just kind of slowly grow and billow in that heart center. And noticing in that space around the heart if there's any tension, if there's any pain, physical sensation of pain, uneasiness, whatever. Just allow yourself just to breathe that big, beautiful breath into that space and allowing it out. And I really encourage you, all of you beautiful sisters, to just allow yourself to let go and really like Melody brought this delicious flavor of being loyal. So whatever that means to you, for me that means being loyal to who you authentically are and letting go of all judgments of yourself and that inner critic. And I know in these moments sometimes that inner critic can really come in, and just allowing yourself to just realign in those moments that the inner critic is telling you perhaps you're not doing the pose right or you're not where you need to be. Just realign and know that you are exactly where you need to be. And in this moment, just inside of your mind, in the eye of the mind, set an intention for this practice. Just the first thing, whatever comes up. So maybe it's an intention to be kinder to yourself. It's maybe an intention to practice this lovely self-care. Trust that your gut instinct, that your intuition knows exactly the intention that you need. I often think that the intentions are the things that we're struggling with the most. So whatever you're struggling with the most, set an intention to give more love and more compassion for yourself around whatever it is. I wanted to read this quote while we're all just laying here. Just really continue to just really bring your awareness to your breath with that big inhale. Rising it up and then floating away. with the exhale. So let's really focus on that breath. You're doing so good. Let it go. Embracing the sacred feminine is a silent inward place. We are not directing ourselves or anyone through word. We and anyone else we hold get to bathe in our silent field of love, so that our own and their own sacred thoughts, the deeper truths, can emerge out of the depths of our stillness and compassion. And that's from this incredible soul, Lisa Hopkins, who wrote The Root of All Healing. Wonderful work, my friends. Just deepening that breath, breathing it in and letting it flow. Wonderful. And whenever you're ready, just take your time. Use that strength of the core if you need to kind of roll over on a side. And if you can, just meet me in a little crisscross applesauce sukhasana. So whatever that looks like for you, take your own journey. We're not on any time schedule here. And just kind of really feel into this seat, right? It can be like, it's called the easy pose, but right, it's not easy. It can be really challenging. So I always like a pillow under my booty. You can try like a Baddha Konasana, a butterfly, if that feels good. Or you can do, if you can rock out a little, whatever, do it, right? Crisscross applesauce is what we all call it. And just like really feel into that seat. So we're gonna kind of just do some of these like seated cow and cats. I really love this pose. It kind of like just kind of will activate and like kind of light up your fire. So we're gonna inhale forward, then we're gonna exhale back. Inhale forward, and just take it at your own pace. So really tune into your spine and that flexion. Good job. Just opening the heart and the front body and compressing that back body. And feel into your shoulders. You can tune into like a drishti. In yoga we use like a focal point. I brought all my lovely art. These murtis, find something and bring the floor. Just feel into your back. If you need, you can take a little free expression if you like need to like rock out a little bit on the side. And knowing that I'm just your guide, I'm not here to like tell you what to do in your body, right? Like let yourself, if you feel like called to maybe like stretch it out at the side. Just bringing your awareness to your breath in your body. You're all doing so good. And just kind of floating back to that intention, right? And sometimes it can shift, like that intention can be shifting throughout the practice. Just kind of bringing your awareness, and like that's why we're here, right? We're setting new intentions. We're creating a new vision for this new year. Yeah, just give yourself a little love. I know all of you had some big car rides here, like the back and the booty can get really sore. If you need to like come forward, just kind of find what feels good for you and your bodies. Yeah. And yoga it's joining the breath to the body, right? So something that I've really learned is when you can use your breath, you can step away from all of those crazy thoughts, right? We were talking about all the inner critic and all that voice, and you can kind of step away from that and get here, right? Get into this body. And it's interesting, like just a seated pose, you can feel like it's not doing anything, but in yoga we actually have these 3 locks. So there's like your root block, it's down low, it's that kegel. You can try to like squeeze that, and then almost like you're zipping up through your tummy and all the way through the chin. That's why like meditation can be such a powerful practice, right? Awesome work, ladies. Okay, now we're gonna just kind of bring our hands in like a little Anjali mudra. We're gonna just bring that to your heart. Just one more time, humbly tucking your chin. Coming back to that intention, whatever it is. Just letting it wrap around you like a warm, loving blanket. Awesome work. We're going to just dive those hands high to the sky. On the exhale, twisting to the right side. And just giving yourself a little love in that spine. Kind of detoxing and wringing out. And maybe if you can kind of peek halfway, or if it feels good, you can journey past the shoulder. And really anchoring in with that breath here. Breathing that in and letting it flow away. And I know sometimes, like when I'm doing poses like this, my mind will be like, "Oh, you need to do something else. Go faster, go harder." And it's not always about that. It's just slowing down and showing up, being present in your body. You're using that breath coming in and letting it melt away. And I really challenge you to just step out of your breath comfort zone and really breathe into your body. Even if the mind is like saying weird things, you don't have to hold on to it. So really mindfully focus on 3 expansive breaths here. If you're a counter, you can try counting in like to the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Exhale into a 5 count. 4, 5. Try that one more time. 3 count in. 6 count out. Awesome work. Slowly and mindfully coming back to center so you can raise up. Ooh, feel that good burn. Exhale to the left. And just again feeling into your spine and however it's feeling without judgment. I know sometimes like I can barely move my head past a point. I'm like, what's happening? Getting so old here. And it's just fine, like wherever you are in your body. And let's again try that 3 count in and 4 count out. 3 count in, 5 count out. So just kind of roll with that 2 more times at your own pace. Letting it go. Awesome work. And then coming immediately back at center here. Hands high, high, high up to the sky. And then we're going to exhale. And whatever this looks like for you, you're going to meet me at a tabletop position. So I definitely recommend using your blanket under your knees because we're going to kind of hold these in a more of a restorative pose. So, and just take the care to organize your blankie, like you take care of all the people you love, take care of you so that any wrinkles. If you have that pillow, we'll just scooch it over. Okay. So we're just going to rock out a few count counts whenever you're ready. Yep, get that nice set up. Awesome work. And so from here, really, I want you to root into your hands. So your hands are like the soles of your feet. So really just like, for me, it helps if I like look at it. I'm like, yes, hands, you live here. And this one here. And if you have wider shoulders, you might want to kind of overlap off of the mat. And if you have more narrow shoulders, you kind of just can touch your shoulders and go through. So really root through the thumb, pointer, and extend all the way through the pinky. And then kind of like do this like almost like a little push-up to just make sure you're really rooted into the earth. And then tune in if you can and bring just a little gentle eye of the elbow facing that short edge of the mat. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale. Flex that spine nice and big like a beautiful black cat. The big inhale in. Exhaling it out. And if you want, if it feels good, you can exhale, sink that belly. Allow the chin and the tail to meet you up high for that cow. So just take these at your own pace. If it feels good to just be really slow and breathe like 3 of those nice expansive breaths in here. Or if you're like a mover, if you want to move some more energy that's kind of built up. Awesome work, guys. And again, just tune into your spine. How's it feeling? If you need, you can like wiggle your booty. If your hips are feeling a little tight, it's like, what's happening? And miss that tea. Rock it out. You guys are doing so good. Nice. Such good work. Yes. So just take one more full round at your own pace. Exhale. Okay, and from here we're going to rock out a restorative threading of the navel. So you're really going to root through that right hand. And just really be mindful of like where that shoulder is. And then from here we're just going to kind of really engage the core. We're going to inhale that left arm high to that sky. And then exhale slowly and mindfully through. And then you're just going to sink down onto the temple. And just feel how that feels. And if it feels good, you can bind that arm that's on the earth, or you can just sit with it. And if you ladies don't mind, I'm going to come around and just kind of give a little hip adjustment here. So just really use that breath to kind of work you. I'm just going to kind of work right here. okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Big inhale. And sinking it out. Good. Nice work. And just kind of feel into whatever that feels like for you. Sometimes it can be like tighter, or maybe you can like a friend. You're fine. Do you need one? Oh, I have one. Okay. Yeah. Do you mind while I just there? Okay, so we're just taking a nice inhale. And then you're just gonna exhale. Sink a little bit. There it is. And do one more of those. And push it back. Good. And really feel into that shoulder on the earth. Just do you mind doing that? Just
No, you're fine.
So just really just tune in. Okay, just big breath here. And a big breath out. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do one of those big breaths. Just you got it. Let it out. Good. Nice work right there. And just tune in to that shoulder on the earth. And sometimes that mind, like we were talking about, right? It like tells us we need to move past something. Yet when we do these deeper restorative poses, we're deepening that connective tissue. And we're lengthening and we're gaining more mobility and flexibility. And when we can allow that, when we can allow our body to rest and restore, that can be just this incredible thing. Because we're so busy and our mind is always telling us all the things that we need to be doing. Yet what if we didn't do? What if we just paused and just let our bodies just be? And even in these kind of weird pretzel-y poses, just letting your body just be with that breath, working through the mind, expanding yourself a little bit deeper through the back of the heart, and letting that go. Good job. Bringing that breath in a little bit deeper. And perhaps if those counting breaths felt good, if it felt good for you to be like in control of where that number was, like 3 on the inhale, 5 on the exhale. Just allowing yourself to just be present, to show up here. Allowing that intention to roll down your spine and bubble out through the exhale and fill up the space around you. Excellent. And I know sometimes the mind's like, when am I moving? What am I doing? Why am I here? And it's just say, pause. Like, no, thank you. I'm here. I'm exactly where I need to be. And take 3 more cycles of your own breath. And whatever that feels like for you. Really make this last one count, ladies. Blow it out. And when you reach that last cycle, really, we're going to engage that right hand onto the earth, activate through the core. Slowly take your time, inhale, and unthread that needle. I know if you can, like your attention to the stars. Take your hand to the stars. Come back down. And maybe you need a little like, ooh, what was that? Or that looks good. Wiggle out your hips a little bit. Or if you just need a pause and just be like, okay. Because those can be a really big like detoxifying movement and it can like move a lot of energy. So when you're ready, really root and engage that left hand into the earth nice and wide. Okay, and like love your tummy, love your heart. And we're gonna exhale that right hand up high to the sky and just slow and mindfully threading it through, coming down onto that temple and just set yourself up for success in whatever that feels like in your body. And if you need to, you can take a little bind with that left hand, and I'm going to come back around and just do those hip adjustments on this side. So really just allowing that breath to come into the body and letting it go. And just allowing yourself, maybe like a new intention could be like rest, just rest. releasing. Good, okay. And just allow yourself just to be here. Perhaps if that intention is coming back, or if it's fighting, right? Sometimes things like will resist, and that's okay. Resting it back. Good job. That breath all the way through the spine. Good job. Wonderful. You're so good. All right, my lovely friends. Okay, take a beautiful breath here. Let it go. Really breathe into those next 2 counts. Fill yourself up. Let go. Let all judgment go. We are all in this together. We are all sisters. Good. There it is. Really just expanding that breath through the back of the heart. Almost like if you can imagine, like there's a spotlight shining on the back of the heart here. And your job is just to be a little bit more open in that space. Just letting it soften. Opening and opening. And letting it go. My friends. And perhaps if that counting was working for you, doing that 3 count in, and really challenging that extend, exhale with a 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Filling yourself up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Deepening, maybe to 6. If you want to get all sorts of crazy, maybe you could do a 3 count in and a 7 out. Really just like a letting go. Those expansive exhales really allow you to let a lot of those emotions, thoughts flow. You've got 2 more of those. So really breathe that breath in. Yes. Your breath is like a windy day up here in the mountains, and it's furious and it's wild and it's crazy. Nothing will stop it. Excellent. 1 more big expansive in. And really push it out. Yes. When you're ready, really rooting that love tune into the earth from the center. 3 is drawing that navel back towards the spine. Finding strength in your hamstring or your biceps and triceps. So we're going to inhale. Keep touching the stars. Exhale. Awesome. And then from here, we're going to come into a restorative child's pose. So my favorite, and I can grab you a couple pillows, is I like to, I'll give you another one. You probably want 2 pillows. I can grab them and like snuggle like a pillow. That's my absolute favorite. It's the most favorite. Here, and like feel what it feels like. Do you want another one too? I think I'll be okay. Okay, yeah, so just snuggle. Do you want another one, Chelsea? I think I'm okay. Are you sure? Okay, yeah, just snuggle. You have a really good bolster. Love it. Yeah, and just let yourself snuggle and really just rest and find your child's pose. This is in yoga, this one, like with the arms forward, it's called Bhaktasana, which is a devotional pose, or like I like to call it more like a gratitude pose. It just reminds me of just like you're bowing with gratitude to yourself and just allowing yourself just to be. And if it feels good, you can bring the hands if they need to tuck in more of like that balasana, which is a child's pose. And just letting that heart really sink. And if you're in, like we're going to do this for a few minutes. So if you're in the pose and you need to wiggle your human and spine, right? And maybe while you're here, I encourage you to like let the corners of your cheeks just kind of raise up, like give yourself a little smile, because smiling is this act of self-kindness. And when we give some kindness and smile, we get this like little release of oxytocin, which is like that love hormone, that cuddly hormone that makes us feel wonderful and amazing, that like, you get when you hug your spouse or your children, or you hug your dog, pet your dog's head, the little moments that just fill you up in your body. Just letting yourself really rest and restore here. And I'm going to come around for those hip adjustments once more. Really just letting that breath again, if it feels good, that counting. I know sometimes I really can get like in my control freak mode and I need to know the numbers. So it's like if that is what you need to do to like help your mind and all the things, then rock out, do that. Good job. Just really allowing yourself, yes, to just rest. Really taking that inhale. Big, big, big. Yes. Fill that up and then let it go. Yes. Beautiful chest. Really bringing it in. Yes, let it go. Wonderful work. And remembering that sometimes we must rest and we must restore. We don't need to always be doing like 1,000 bajillion million things and movements. Just like taking time for self-care to practice you, right? That's why you're here today. Alright, we're taking a beautiful breath in. Yes, and you're just gonna there it is. Good job. Big breath here. Just let it sink down. One more. Let it go. And perhaps coming back to that intention. And maybe it's shifting, right? Maybe it is to rest and relax. Maybe it's to be a little kinder to yourself. Maybe it's to be accepting where you are in your life without judgment. Or maybe it's just to let go of judgment. Alright, man, I'm like, take a beautiful breath in here. And let us make it stop. It's okay. Good job. Let it fill you up. Let that clean energy fill you up. And put all the negative energy out. Imagining blue skies in, gray skies out. Yes, right there. Blue skies in, gray skies out. Maybe it's green skies in, and maybe it's yellow skies out. Good job. And just find your body and what feels good for you, because what feels good for one is not always going to be good for another. Really just allowing that breath to be. Letting it go. Letting it go. Bringing that restorative breath in and letting it come out. I'm just going to read a little bit from the 4 Agreements. I love this book, it's really powerful. And this is called Prelude to a New Dream. There are thousands of agreements you have made with yourself, with other people, with your dream of life, with God, society, with your parents, with your spouse, with your children. But the most important agreements are those ones you made with yourself. In these agreements, you tell yourself who you are, what you feel, what you believe, and how to behave. The result is what you call your personality. In these agreements, you say, this is what I am, this is what I believe. I can do certain things and some things I cannot do. This is reality. That is fantasy. This is possible. That's impossible. One single agreement is not such a problem, but we have many agreements that make us suffer, that make us fail in life. If you want to live a life of joy and fulfillment, you have to find the courage to break through those agreements that are fear-based and claim your personal power. The agreements that come from fear require us to expend a lot of energy, but the agreements that come from love help us to conserve energy and gain extra energy. Each of us is born with a certain amount of personal power, that we rebuild every day after we rest. Unfortunately, we spend all our personal power first to create all these agreements and then to keep these agreements. Our personal power is dissipated by all of the agreements we have created, and the result is that we feel powerless. We have just enough power to survive each day because most of it is used to keep the agreements that trap us in the dream of the planet. How can we change the entire dream of our life when we have no power to change in even the smallest agreement? And if your body is not feeling this, you can literally do whatever you need. If you need to lay with your back flat on the earth or just feel into your body, this is your practice. If we can see it as our agreements that rule our own life and we don't like the dream of our life, we need to change the agreements. When we are finally ready to change our agreements, there are 4 very powerful agreements that will help us to break those agreements that come from fear and deplete our energy. Each time you break an agreement, all of the power you used to create it returns to you. If you adopt these 4 new agreements, it will create enough personal power for you to change the entire system of your old agreements. You need a very strong will in order to adopt the 4 agreements. But if you can begin to live your life with these agreements, the transformation in your life will be amazing. You will see the drama of hell disappear right before your very eyes. Instead of living in a dream of hell, you will be creating a new dream, your personal dream of heaven. Love it, love it, love it. Awesome work. Wonderful. And whenever you're ready, we're going to just kind of slowly raise it on up. Just kind of from that center, kind of come. Yeah, you can come up for a little bit. And like maybe you do want to try like a hero's pose. If you've ever tried this pose, you can do it a little bit more restorative. Like I don't like sitting on my feet personally. I like sitting on something. And the toes can be kissing, and you can kind of sink back. I know some people like to kind of go like this. So just kind of feel your own body. It's not that there's like a right or a wrong. It's just a feeling and whatever feels good for you. I know some people like to post up and get a really big stretch on the soles of their feet. Just depends. I want you to just like take a moment here. I'm just sitting up from that root block, that's that root chakra, all the way down low. It's like that giggle between like the vagina and the anus, just squeeze it. Just like you're drawing like this length of energy up from the spine through all of these beautiful chakras, these energy centers, just kind of like aligning. And if it feels good, you can bring your hands into a prayer, or I feel called to give myself a nice hug here in this moment. You can close the eyes and keep the eyes open and just kind of, I want you to just feel into whatever you're feeling. I know sometimes when we like slow down, a lot of shit can come up, and it's just like, let it come up. Scary feeling, or maybe a peace feeling, or whatever it is, just let it come up. And just in this moment, give yourself a little, or a big bit of compassion. And just allow that to just be, just pausing. That intention. You know, for me, what's coming in is like giving myself more compassion and like grace, and not being so hard on myself, or not being this like ridiculous expectation of perfect, because I'm never going to be that. It doesn't exist. But that always comes up for me, so that's why I'm going to just sit with. Even though it like hurts, it gets fiery in my heart chakra and throat chakra and my face sometimes. It's just like, just sit with that. Awesome work. Good job. Okay, and then from here, we're gonna just kind of uncross. Maybe shake out the arms a little bit. I draw that. I want you to do just like one standing pose, and then we'll kind of do a little restorative. So whatever it looks like for you to kind of make your way up, like maybe if you wanna, this is kind of something I like to do, kind of, we'll move our hankies for a moment. Yeah, or you can just kind of follow this a little bit. So we'll just kind of move into the earth. And just gently, if you can, just kind of rock up to a downward dog if that feels good for you. And I always just like to take this moment to just kind of change my perspective and just see everything upside down, and then you come with the feet. Don't hold that breath, just walk out the feet, whatever it feels like. And really root those hands big and wide and strong into the earth, because right, they're like part of your foundation here. And whatever this looks like for you, you can kind of walk the hands up to the feet, or walk the hands back to the feet, or walk, you know what I mean? Whatever it feels like. So if a forward fold feels good, if it doesn't, you can just lead up into Tadasana. Maybe just like swing those hips side to side. Just kind of letting go here. These inversions are really wonderful, and they can be so helpful on like the emotional state of being. If you get like physical headaches or bouts of depression, this can really actually help kind of switch that. I actually have this incredible friend who I took my yoga teacher training with, who has bipolar disorder, and she literally helps cure, or her medicine is inversions, and she stays like inverted, like I think it's like something 20 minutes a day. Just like that switch for her, it like is enough to help her kind of equalize her mental state of being. So it's very powerful. When you're ready, just you can take it slow and steady, just like almost like you're unraveling like a mala straight up. Just leading into Tadasana. I always get that free like woo. So and maybe just like taking a moment here, just shaking out the arms. Yeah, and now we're gonna do a little bit of like knocking on heavens, or it's like a qigong practice. I love qigong. It's just like harvesting your own energy. So it's just like you're gonna bring the arms, and you're gonna start low, and you can take fists. And what we're doing is we're kind of like knocking on energy meridians in the body. And so whatever that kind of is feeling like, let's set this up in case people are in here. That you're just kind of moving and really just feel that twisting the spine. My camera skills are not that great today. And just, if you can, like I always like to like test my center of gravity and close my eyes. Just kind of like, what? Presence? Yeah, I can do that. If you can, it's like, oh yeah. Like one of my big affirmations that many of you know is like, I can do hard things. Like, right? And if you're feeling wobbly, just open your feet up, like spread your toes really wide and bring them into the earth. Just feel that twist of that spine. You feel like that invigoration and energy, like moving throughout the body. It sounds like a lot of things, but moving that breath in, and maybe blowing out. Maybe if you have a little lion's breath, well, drop that tongue in. Let it go. For a second, I can let go. A little bit deeper when it goes. And maybe if you can just journey those arms up a little bit, kind of more towards like the ribs. And sometimes for me, when I get higher, it's like, oh, I have to focus on that. That's okay. Yeah, just feel that. Like, feel your spine. All of that tension, all of that stress that we hold in that, like all of our energy meridians in that lower half, just like, I let it twist out. Yes. And just kind of organically, like let your body kind of slow itself down. Just kind of let it gravity to its line. Back here. And then just like shaking out with your shake out the hands, shake out the feet. And just like notice over and yes, shake it out. Move it around. Awesome. Okay. So since we are here, right, in these lovely mountains with like all of these trees, we're gonna do Vrikshasana and like in a tree pose. So there's 3 different ways that you can do the tree pose, which you've done a million times. Rock it out. Just really be mindful. So let's start with this right foot. And I really want you to lift up your toes and just like plant them into the earth, like slow and steady. And you're gonna want to really zip up those joints, right? Gentle micro bend to the knee. This hip likes to get kind of lazy, so really be mindful. Like squeeze your glutes in, activate your hamstrings all the way up, zip up through the core. Remember, we're talking about like that we have like these three bandhas. It's like, it's a lock here, middle section, and even that chin, and that just helps like strengthen us. So the first one is you can go right here to the ankle. Just be careful of your joints. You never want to like press on the joints. So you're gonna kickstand here, just right here on the ankle, or if it feels good, you can like strengthen through that body. And again, be mindful that hip likes to get crazy. You can rock out between the calf, or if you're feeling like powerful or whatever, you can bring all the way that heel, just bring it to that nook between right there, and really strengthen. And I encourage you to grow your tree, right? In yoga, again, we use a drishti, so that's why I put all these beautiful eye candy behind you, or just look out the window. Find your strength, find your roots, really connect with the earth here. And really, as you zip up, I encourage you to grow your tree. Sometimes you can just put a hand on the top of your hand. You can like grow and expand those vertebrae from the center. There it is. Maybe you want to have like a little free expression, and you can like grow some branches. Or it's like a windy day right here. It's like, wow. I always get blown over, and I always will. A lot of times I get blown over in this pose, and it's fine. Just like find your center. You can catch a mudra if that feels good for you. Really using that breath as you root that stuff. I really find like a lot of strength in this pose. Like it's a balancing pose, right? Or like embodying trees. And perhaps you can like imagine like your favorite tree. It could be one of these. Like I love those leafy willow trees. Just like everywhere, and huge, massive. Yeah, whatever it is. We're gonna just slow and mindfully on the next exhale. Kind of release, come on down. And then you shake it out, shake it out. There it is. Feeling that hip, right? It's like, wow. Shake that out, make a noise. Sound effects are always welcome. Break dancing, this is fun. Shaking down to the floor. Awesome. Okay, now we're gonna do the same thing. On the opposite side, really root that foot. So this thing can be so challenging for me, but like lifting up, try to release the pinky, ring finger, stick out the tongue, to focus. Really root and zip up all of those. Align your body, really hug through the butte, core, and then find your tree that feels good for you. Just be mindful of your joints. You don't want to get on the joints forever. Rock out in your body. You can use a ball, use whatever you need. It's different every practice. And really just embody those trees. Maybe just like peek out the window. See all of that beautiful, like that forestry. The greens and golds and glimmers and reds. Just so beautiful, so earthy. Just let yourself be connected here. Every expression that feels good for you. Maybe coming back to that intention. Maybe it's shifted to be more rooted, to find balance in life, right? You want to run one leg and we feel kind of crazy, right? To work past crazies of the mind. Just be, even whatever's coming up. Maybe things like heat, it's rising. The face is coming up, drawing that energy up from the earth. Just kind of like spiral up, filling you up, all the way to the top of the head, connecting it all the way to the universe. Letting that go. And we'll come back to that. Let's try it at 3 count, 6 count. 1, 2, 3, and 6 counts. Yes. 7 count. And if you fall out, that's okay. We're all people, right? Balancing, right? Finding balance in like our lives, with our relationship, our own self-care, like eating healthy, exercise, everything. It's a lot. When you're ready, just float out and then shake it on up. Shake it on out. Wiggle it down. Yep. Wiggle, move it. Awesome. Okay, and then from here, you have to use some water. Maybe take a little sip of water, drink. Use some water. Get your water. Just like take up some space, right? That's good. And then from here, we're just going to kind of open our legs up wide. Kind of like feel your feet right lift up. And say, ooh, yeah, I'm off here. I'm on here. Right? This is like one of my favorite sequences that I learned in my yoga teacher training. So just kind of get those feet into the earth. And you can open your legs up a little bit. I like mine a little bit wider than that. But if it gets slippery, you can always like go to the side, whatever feels good for you. So we're just gonna find kind of like a little buoyancy in the knees. Yeah, we can bend this way, yep. And then we're gonna, from the hips and heart, we're gonna hinge over. Exhale those arms to the side. And we're gonna exhale forward, like you're holding like a ball of energy or like a beach ball. And then you're gonna exhale down to the earth. Just kind of sway. I always like to use this like kind of like an energetic practice. It's like I'm like kind of like sweeping up and getting some new energy. That feels good. And you can kind of just like find your neutral, and then we're gonna lift up to that center. So this is a step of Brahman. We're gonna inhale all the way high to the sky. We're just gonna do that a few times. Take up space, become a beautiful star. We're gonna exhale, hinge forward, melt that heart down to the earth. Let the back of the heart shine. Hinge all the way down, kind of like this wide-legged forward fold here. Good job. Yeah, you got this. You can imagine like getting some nice, clean, and fresh energy. Then we're gonna exhale, arms forward. You kind of take this at your own pace, like you really routine. Get a little playful in your own body. Good job. Just find what feels good for you and your body. Side effects always welcome. Take one last beautiful expression of your body, taking up space because it is safe to take up space. We want to take up all this space. As you hinge forward and down. Awesome work. You guys are doing amazing. Okay. And from here, whenever you do your last one, if that feels good, if you want one more, we're going to kind of transition. If you want to follow my lead, so we're going to use that, which is going to be your left foot. So we're going to kind of turn that left foot forward. And then we're going to turn that right foot forward. So from here, we're going to kind of come down to the earth. And whatever this looks like, kind of you can see behind me. And from here, we're going to come into a half of a pigeon. So take this at your own pace. So you can kind of cross that midsection, lengthen that leg forward. Sometimes the stretch can be really deep. I did this with my sister the other day. It was really deep on her hips. So we're going to go to more of a restorative. So we're going to want to just kind of melt down. My hip pops like wicked off of the earth. So it helps a lot to have a pillow under that hip that is raised, or a blanket like this. If you can even put your bolster under this hip. And it's just like, that shouldn't be too big. And then, just let your body kind of sink into it. Here, and then here, use this. Then you can kind of hug into a blanket and just find a little restorativeness, like just rest into that hip. And really just allow the hip to be open. I know this, when I first started practicing yoga, this was one of those poses that I like almost honestly loathed. Just like, I cannot do this. And I know it's like things like that. Like I need, like for me, it's like in my root chakra, right? It's like down low. It's like the things that kind of like cause me a ruckus that I need to like kind of relax into, even though possibly it's like painful. I'm not saying that it should be painful, but in yoga, it's like you want to find your edge. It's that space between too much and not enough. All right. Let's see. I'm going to read now some, because I love reading. like my favorite. The Power of Now from Eckhart Tolle. So this book is wonderful. It's kind of in this like question and answer format to Eckhart, and this one is freeing yourself from your mind. And the question is, what exactly do you mean by watching the thinker? When someone goes to the doctor and says, I hear a voice in my head, he or she will most likely be sent to a psychiatrist. The fact is that in a very similar way, virtually everyone hears a voice or several voices in their head all of the time. The involuntarily thought processes that you don't realize you have the power to stop. Conscious monologues or dialogues. You have probably come across mad people in the street incessantly talking or muttering to themselves. Well, that's not much different from what you and all of the other normal people do, except that you don't do it out loud. The voice comments, speculates, judges, compares, complains, likes, dislikes, and so on. The voice isn't necessarily relevant to the situation you find yourself in at the time. It may be reviving the recent or distant past, or rehearsing or imagining possible future situations. Here, it often imagines things going wrong and negative outcomes. This is called worry. And just allow yourself really to deepen into your breath. And I like to imagine like breath is like coming at the sole of my foot and then almost like exhaling through that hip that's bent in. Because I know the mind like this is perfect by readings. Sometimes the soundtrack is accompanied by visual images or mental movies. Even if the voice is relevant to the situation at hand, it will interpret it in terms of the past. This is because the voice belongs to your conditioned mind, which is the result of all of your past history, as well as all of the collective cultural mindset you inherited. So you see and judge the present through the eyes of the past and get a totally distorted view of it. It is not uncommon for the voice to be a person's own worst enemy, which sucks, right? That's our own worst enemy. Many people live with a tormentor in their head that continuously acts and punishes them and drains them of vital energy. It is the cause of untold misery and unhappiness, as well as disease. The good news is that you can free yourself from your mind. This is the only true liberation. You can take the first step right now. Start listening to that voice in your head as often as you can. Pay particular attention to any repetitive thought patterns, those old records that have been playing in your head, perhaps for many years. This is what I mean by watching the thinker, which is another way of saying listening to the voice in your head. Be there as a witnessing presence. And I have to just say this. My nephew, Kelton's teacher, Mrs. Creeves, she was saying, like, when her class gets so crazy, she says she envisions taking a step back into her own light, into her own power, and just like observing all of the chaos, like sort of like with your kids or at work or whatever's happening, you just observe it and see it. Just like, wow, like just seeing it as the noticer. When you listen to that voice, listen to it impartially. That is to say, do not judge. Do not judge or condemn what you hear, for doing so would mean that the same voice has come in again through the back door. You'll soon realize there is a voice, and here I am listening to it, watching it. This I am realization, this sense of your own presence is not a thought. It arises beyond the mind. Okay, my lovelies. And I really want you to just like exhale when you come up. And whatever it looks like for you, like for me, I kind of like to do that hind foot, kind of either rock out a plank or come back to that downward Just kind of feel the strength of your upper body. And then you can, whatever it looks like, you can need to melt to your knees and kind of bump, 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 bump. Get here and kind of lengthen and release. It's not like a one size fits all. You do what works best for you. Just notice what it feels like from hip to hip. Like sometimes I can be like, oh God, this is not working. So I'll need to literally roll on the butt cheek. So if you need to roll on a butt cheek, like that's okay. There's no shame and no judgment here. Like our bodies are all of these interesting things. Do you guys like what I do too when you're in the process? I like it. I would like that.
My favorite restorative teacher would have poetry and do like a poem into it. That would be the thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes. I just went and grabbed my favorite poems. It's like, we'll have a little bit heart. Oh, Lori. Good. I like it. And also my favorite class is like when the teacher reads to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I got up and then other side. So you're fine. Yep, other side. Yep, you're okay. Yep. So and just like I know for me, like my mobility is not that great, so I just put my heel like really close in towards like the pelvis, like towards the vajay, like right there. Relax it on down. Whatever that feels like hugging a pillow is super helpful. Just allow yourself just to rest. And again, notice what it feels like from hip to hip. All hips are different, right? All hips are created differently. Okay, so I love this book because he puts these spots where you're just supposed to kind of pause and just be with that. And the next entry says, so when you listen to a thought, you are aware not only of the thought, but also of yourself as the witness of the thought. A new dimension of consciousness has come in. As you listen to the thought, you feel a conscious presence, your deeper self. Behind or underneath the thought, as it were, the thought then loses its power over you and quietly subsides, because you are no longer energizing the mind through identification with it. This is the beginning of the involuntary and compulsive thinking. When a thought subsides, you experience a discontinuing in the mental stream, a gap of no mind. At first, the gap will be short, a few seconds perhaps, but gradually they will become longer. When these gaps occur, you feel a certain stillness, a peace inside of you. This is the beginning of the natural state of felt oneness with being, which is usually obscured by the mind. With practice, the sense of stillness and peace will deepen. In fact, there is no end to its depth. You will also feel a subtle emanation of joy arising from deep within, the joy of being. It is not a trance-like state, not at all. There is no loss of consciousness here. The opposite is the case. If the price of peace were a lowering of your consciousness, and the price of stillness a lack of vitality and alertness, then they would not be worth having. In this state of interconnectedness, you are much more alert and more awake than in the mind-identified state. You are fully present. It also raises the vibrational frequency of the energy field that gives life to the physical body. As you go more deeply into this realm of no mind, as it is sometimes called in the East, you realize the state of pure consciousness. In that state, you feel your own presence with such intensity and such joy that all thinking, all emotions, your physical body as well as the whole external world become relatively insignificant in comparison to it. And yet, this is not a selfish, but a selfless state. I repeat, the selfless state. It takes you beyond what you previously thought of as yourself. That presence is essentially you, and at the same time, inconceivably greater than you. What I am trying to convey here may sound paradoxical or even contradictory, but there is no other way I can express it. And really just bringing that awareness to that heart and the back body. And perhaps just allowing that heart to soften, maybe bringing some love and some compassion into the heart, into those cracks and those wounds and the holes of the heart. The only way that healing can happen within your body is if you are open to allowing it with love and compassion and forgiveness. And forgiveness is one of those things that can be so difficult, I know, so deeply. And it can just start with like this lovely affirmation, like, I'm sorry, I forgive you, I love you, and thank you. I'm sorry, I love you, I forgive you, thank you. Maybe just one more time. I'm sorry, I love you, I forgive you, thank you. And breathing into all of those beautiful words, letting them melt away. Awesome work. Whenever you're ready, you just take your time and slowly. I like to just raise up and then just roll right on the butt cheek. So can you move up and just kind of get right onto your footing, your little full strap wave, and whatever it looks like, kind of bring that leg back. And then we're gonna make our way onto our backs. So you can use your blanket for like a cozy. We're gonna do just a few more restorative poses, and then we're gonna do our shavasana. So I would like to have a blanket in my shavasana. Some people like to have a pillow. So whatever this looks like for you. We're gonna just slowly and steady kind of make your way onto your back. And maybe just when you arrive, you can kind of bring your legs up and give yourself a little hug, kind of roll around here, just giving a nice little gentle kind of massage on the back of the earth here. After all that big deep hip opener, it's a good one. And just kind of rock side to side. If you want, you can rock out a happy baby here. That's just kind of, you can slice on the inside of the knee and just kind of grab one foot and another foot up and just kind of rocking out. I always like to imagine like a chubby little Chubbs baby with like 2 bottom teeth in a diaper, just like bubbling and giggling. Because it really does. It's like, happy, joyful little pumpkin baby. Kiss its head, smell its yummy hair. Just get a little playful in your hips after kind of like just being in that pose. Awesome work. Rocking it out here. Good job. Okay, and then whenever you're ready, we're going to just hug the knees to the chest. And we're going to go for a laying twist. So it's up to you and your body. I always like to have a pillow on the side, so you can put a pillow to your right side if that feels good. It just depends on where you are in your body. And then from the core, you're just going to exhale and let your body twist to that right side. And then the arms can kind of lay low or cactus. Just a little bit more support than that you might get to. Yeah, get yourself supported. Yeah, just twist into it and just feel what that feels like, just twisting out. I'm going to do this is like my favorite adjustment ever. So I'm going to share my favorites. And inhale into the shoulder, twisting into the hip. Is that okay? So good. Let it deepen. And really just allow your body to kind of rest into this twist. Let it beat. Each inhale, allowing you just to go a little bit deeper. There it is. Good job. And just allowing your body just to twist it. And you're going to stay exactly where it needs to be. Excellent. Good job. Breathe in, deep breath in. Twist out. Exhale. Each exhale, perhaps you can allow yourself to let go. Let go of maybe an emotion or a feeling that has been just like taking you over. Maybe it's overwhelm. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe it's anger. Whatever it is. Or perhaps just being with whatever that feeling is. Knowing that there's nothing wrong with the feeling. That this feeling has come to you for your protection. Right? All the way on the inside. Yes. To the shoulder. Down to the let go. Let that twist kind of help unravel those distorted, twisted out thoughts of yourself. Right? Just the Eckhart Tolle, it's just what it's all about. But perhaps we all have this distorted version of who we are. We all have these thoughts that creep up, these thoughts that sometimes debilitate us. Sometimes these thoughts that worry us of our health, of our family, and just allowing yourself to just be, to perhaps choose a new thoughts, or as Eckhart was saying, just be the noticer. Maybe if you can step back into your light, you can notice it won't be as intense. Just like when you notice other people and things that are happening in their lives, it seems different, right? Because it's a different perspective. Excellent, right? You're doing so good. Wonderful. And when you're ready, we're going to kind of come back to the back and hug ourselves. And then we're going to twist to the opposite direction. So if you have like a bolster or a pillow, you'll pick that up and you'll put it on the opposite side. And from the center, you can like give yourself a little hug if you need like lengthen the legs, like the legs up the wall or up the invisible wall. If you need to ride an invisible bicycle, and then you can exhale the arms, twist, and perhaps if you can look the opposite direction. It's okay, just like that. You're fine. Just kind of allow that twist to kind of go the opposite side. And then I'm going to come by. Awesome. I'm going to do the adjustment on the other side. So once again, just deepening yourself. Very good. And that body up, that from it. Letting it go. All the way in through the shoulder, down to the hip. Yes. Good. Twist it out. You're so good, ladies. Big breath all the way into the hip. Down the knee, out the soles of the hip. Nice. All the way down. You are doing so good. Letting the breath in you. comes to that inhale, you're just riding the wave of the exhale. All the way into the hip. And run down the knee into the knee. Good job. Wonderful. Such good work. Really using that breath. That breath is your anchor. That breath is your loving friend. Yes, that's it. Stand. Release. Wonderful. Find your own peace. Pause between your own thoughts. Right here. Find that still space. That space that resides within you. Doesn't come from anything else. That thing that you can access, that space of just being. Letting it go. Exhale. There it is. Wonderful, wonderful. There we are. Letting it go. Wonderful work, my friends. There it is. And really just allowing that body. And perhaps on that next exhale, hugging those knees into the chest. Coming back to center. And when you're ready, and then you can relax the legs long and find yourself in your Shavasana, so arms and legs long. Allowing your body just to rest or take a little free movement. I'm just going to switch the musically. Just set yourself up to be that blankie. Wrap yourself up. Just let your body just rest. Just let your body rest onto the mat. Just feeling, just letting the weight of the body on the mat. And using that breath once again, tuning all the way back into the attention. The attention for yourself. Let's practice. Just allow just to come. Apply, fill up. There it is. And just resting. Just releasing. There it is. And perhaps just bringing the awareness just to the soles of the feet here. And then you can switch that attention to I'm relaxed. Just relaxing the body. And just melting the soles of the feet. Softening and deepening at the ankles. And letting go. And just letting the body just be. As you melt all the way up to the legs. Softening and deepening at the knees. Just allowing a little pause here as you inhale. Just being. With that inhale flowing in. And letting it flow out. And just wrapping up and spiraling up into the sit bones and just melting the hips and the booty all the way down onto the earth. Spiraling into the core and the tummy. And allowing each vertebrae to just melt into the mat. This beautiful string of malas just melting and softening until it spirals up into the heart center. Allowing the heart to soften. and open. And perhaps you could hear that wind that's cutting through the windows, and just, for me, that's always such a great teacher. Like, even if there is crazy things happening around me, it's up to me to find my own peace and my own relaxation. Coming into the shoulders and just relaxing and melting, allowing the arms to deepen to the mat, softening through the elbows, letting go of the wrists, melting the fingers, just allowing yourself just to soften here. Scanning up to that throat chakra, and just deepening and softening there. And maybe into the jaw, tightening up the jaw for a moment, like, oh, you can feel all the tension, and then making yourself let it go. Maybe with a tight jaw, clench the fist in the booty, and then let it go. Let's do that a few times, like squeeze everything in. Hold it in, purse your lips, and make yourself relax. Hold everything in, feel all of the stress, everything in this moment, let that go. One more. Hold it in, feel tight, and then let that go. Just let your body relax. And softening into the face, just feeling the wetness of the tongue, the softness of the lips. Maybe licking the lips if that feels good. Just allowing your body just to rest as you lay here, softening at the third eye and the eyelids, and just deepening, relaxing the scalp. In this moment, just taking like this lovely little rushing wave, like maybe a gentle stream, just letting it come down, trickling down the head, and just allowing relaxation to wash over your body. And maybe even there might be a spot that's feeling a little tight, and maybe that spot just needs a little bit of love. You can just bring your awareness and just say inside, like, I love you, it's okay. Offering a little compassion. And perhaps there might be some spots that are a little bit more difficult to let go, and that's okay. Just with love, right, as that observer, allowing that rushing little trickle just to come down, allowing yourself just to let go, and just being with yourself, and allowing here in this beautiful pose of surrender. And we're going to take the next 5 or so minutes in silence. And I encourage you just to love yourself here, give yourself compassion, and really allow yourself to just let go and surrender. And I'm going to come around and do just like a few little adjustments. So just let yourself be. And I'm still here with you. Let it go. Soften. And slowly just kind of coming back into the body, coming into the heart. And in this moment, allowing love to come in and allowing love to just fill up the space around you. Maybe if you want to put your hands on your heart or give yourself a hug if that feels good for you. And allowing all of those feelings just to come up. Breathing compassion into the heart. And allowing compassion to fill up the space around the heart. And slowly just filling up the body. Just being with that. Allowing that unconditional love of the self. Knowing that you are good enough, that you are smart enough, that you are strong enough, that you are capable, that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of healing, you are worthy of all of the things in your life. Allowing that unconditional love to radiate throughout the heart, filling up the body, letting it extend around you, allowing us to come in this beautiful circlehood of sisters. The sisters here, the sisters all across the world, that we're all in this together. That any feeling you've ever felt, we've all felt. Any thought you've ever thought, we've all thought. Allowing that love just to be right now, your state, your birthright. Just letting that love blanket around you, hugging you, loving you, allowing compassion. I love you. I forgive you. Thank you. I'm sorry. I love you. I forgive you. Forgiveness is right here in this moment. Compassion is right here. It's your sister with me who's wrapping around you. And whenever you're ready, you can just kind of gently roll onto the side, kind of in like a fetal position if that feels good for you. I would like to roll and just give myself a little hug here. And just giving yourself great gratitude here. So much gratitude for just showing up here and being vulnerable to be here. And just on your own timing, just meeting me in a seated position. Just take your time. So good. So just bring our palm to our heart. Sorry. Still namaste. And then come to the bellies. And we'll just sit. Ready to go.
I'm ready for a nap right now.
I'll just bring some puppy love around.
Hi, sweetie.
Oh, so soft.
Oh, no.
Yes, so sweet. He is so good. I just like you might want a little puppy snuggle
I
after that.
love you so much.
I have like super high vibration.
Good.
Anybody else?
I do. I have huge. Good. Good. You were.
You are.
It's because you're allowing yourself to open it.
Oh, she loves you so much.
Hey mom,
What?
I went to the skate park and your grandpa's
Trust me.
yeah, he was grandpa's jacket.
Oh, did you guys go bowling?
So they
Oh,
just
my God.
You are.
Go that way.
Oh, you are lovely.
Hi, kids. Hi.
I know.
Hello. Isn't Jasper so cute? With his joy. He wrapped his little
Yes. Remind us of this eye just we're raising our bodies.
How was
It's good. We're in it. We're still
it? We're
doing it.
still alive.
But we're still live.
In my
Sorry,
Yes,
we're
but-
still live. This is Jasper. He says, hello. Hopefully, Jenny is
Can I
there.
just tell you
Hello.
something?
We're going to take a little break. So I'm going to end it right here. We're going to take a little break. We love you.
Mom, me and Ava were watching it.